So if you go into your iPhone 13 camera app, there's a lot going on. So today we're going to have an iPhone 13 Pro camera tutorial. Although if you have an iPhone 13, 13 Pro Max, 13 mini, this video will apply to all of those models. By the time you finish watching this video, you'll be an iPhone 13 camera operating beast. Stay tuned to the video. What's up, people? This your boy Viper, the man about tech, captain of Team Apple, baby. Back again for another video. And if you're new here, I help you better understand and connect with the technology around you. So if that's something that you're interested in, do all the YouTube things. But most importantly, I need you to go down there and hit subscribe because your boy Viper is building up a brand new tech channel and I want you along for this journey. So come on and join Vibe Nation. Hit the button. So iPhone 13 Pro camera tutorial. I'm calling it that because I own the iPhone 13 Pro. But again, this works for any iPhone 13 model. So let's get into it. So what your boy Viper needs to do is start my trusty screen recorder and then we can go to work. So 3, 2, 1, boop, boop, screen recorder activated. So I'm going into the camera app right here. And once you get into the camera app, you start here at photo. So let's talk about everything that you see on the screen right now. So these three numbers down here towards the middle bottom section, 0.5, 1x, and 3, those are the different lenses of the iPhone. If you look on the back here, you will see that the iPhone has 3 lenses. So you got 0.5, which is the ultra wide angle lens. Watch this. Whoop, whoop. I know, right? Then we'll take it back to the regular wide angle lens, which is the default. And then if you want to zoom in, whoo, you hit 3 times and it zooms in. So those are just the different lenses that you have at your disposal right there. Now, if we go to the top here, you got these 2 icons at the top. The one that looks like a lightning bolt is the flash. So you can either turn that on or turn it off. And now the one that just lit up is for night mode. So if you want to click on it, you can come down here and adjust the slider. It's not letting us do too much because the room is kind of lit here, so no need for the night mode too much. If we move to the right there at the top here, you can see where it says raw, but it's crossed out. That's basically for people that are professional photographers and they need their images to have the most amount of data possible. Those images, I think, are like 25 megabytes a piece, so they take up more space. But for the average everyday person, you don't need to worry about that. Leave it off. Then next to raw, we have this bunch of squares here, and I think this is what the iPhone has now. They included this year. Photography style. So basically these are just like filters, but only you could dial them in really like specifically. You see the tone and warmth, you could change those numbers. You got cool, warm, vibrant, rich contrast, standard. So those are just different photography styles. Those are the filters. And then the last thing over here, looking like some type of kaleidoscope, is live photo. This was introduced a few years ago. Basically, if you have this on, when you take a picture, it will take the first 3 seconds before and after you take the picture in addition to the picture that you're taking. So again, I usually leave that off because that also takes up more space on your phone. Nobody really needs that. So if you go ahead and we go back and we click on this yellow arrow here at the top middle here, that'll take you back to the different modes of the iPhone camera. Click the arrow here. You could break it down into specific things that you have. So let's go into these real quick. So I already talked about flash here. I talked about night mode, live photo. I talked about the profiles, the photography styles, as the iPhone calling them. Then 4:3 is the ratio, the aspect ratio. So you can shoot in 4:3, square, or 16:9. So basically, just change the aspect ratio of how you want to take the picture. The default, I believe, is 4:3, so we'll just leave it there. This plus minus is the exposure. That changes the light and how much light the lens is picking up. So just change that to that if you want to do that. We go back out of there. This little clock looking thing is a timer. So you can set a timer for your picture. And then these 3 circles are filters. These are actual more filters. So you got original, vivid, warm. Whoa. You got vivid cool, dramatic warm, dramatic cool. That's a lot of filters. Mono, silver tone, and noir. Ooh, LA noir. But yeah, those are just the different filters. So if you want to rock with that, go ahead. So we're going to go back out of here, and then we're going to go and test out another mode. So I'll go to portrait mode. We all know what portrait mode is by now. It gives you that nice bokeh, kind of like what you're seeing in this video with me being at the forefront of the picture and the rest of my background being blurry. That is what portrait mode is on the iPhone. So you have different portrait mode effects. You got natural light. You got studio light, you got contour light, stage light, which makes it kind of blacken. It censors you and it makes everything around you black. And you got stage light mono, which is like black and white. And then you got high key light mono, another black and white portrait mode. And also with this one that's over here, you can zoom in using portrait mode as well. You can use wide angle, or you can use regular wide angle, or zoom in telephoto with portrait mode. So however you want to do that. And then again, we have the arrow at the top here. You can come in here and access the different things that we talked about earlier. Although we have a couple of new things. So this icon right here looks like a hexagon. Looks like the lighting for the contour light, I believe. So yeah, that just changes the lighting, the mode that you have in portrait mode. And then this F over here is the aperture. Now changing this F number, the higher the F number, the smaller the aperture and less light the camera lets in. So if you turn this up, your photo will probably be darker. Turn it down, photo should be brighter because more light is coming in. The lower the number, the more light it comes into the lens. So keep that in mind. So that is portrait mode. So we're gonna go back to the modes here. And then we're gonna go all the way over here to panoramic. So basically what you do with panoramic is think about how ultra wide angle looks like. So right now, if I hit on 0.5, which is ultra wide, that is ultra wide. But panoramic is uber ultra wide. So what happens is that once you start taking a picture, you basically pan the camera to the right, and what you want to do is you want to try to keep it level on the line, but it will stitch together everything that you're panning. So when you hit stop, it will combine all of those stitching together to make one picture, and then it'll look something like that. That's kind of terrible, but that is the general gist of panoramic mode. Now let's go back over here to some other modes here. This obviously is video. So again, you have ultra wide, wide angle, telephoto to zoom in, different things like that. We know about that already. Okay, so the numbers up here, the 4K and the 24. The 4K is the resolution. So right now, if I record this video, I would be recording it at 4K. If you click on it, it goes back down to HD, which is 1080p. So you could record either in 4K or 1080p, and the number next to it is the frames per second. How often does the screen refresh? So you got 30 frames, 60 frames, 24 frames. I usually record all my YouTube videos in 4K, 24 frames per second. I know my man Marquez Brownlee does his in 30 frames per second. My man Drew from Taylor Tech uses 60 frames per second. So basically, that's just a personal preference. The difference in just how smooth the image looks and different things like that. It's a personal preference. You can test that out and work with it how you see fit. But that is what that means. Again, I'm going to keep it at 4K 24 because that's what I normally shoot on my Sony a7 IV, which I'm using here. And when I do B-roll on the iPhone, I also do my B-roll at 4K 24 frames per second. So that is the video. And I think that's all we have in video. Oh, actually, this little arrow circle thing at the bottom right here is to flip the camera. So now it is facing me, and you can see what I'm doing right here. So let's flip it back and go to cinematic mode. Now, I've talked about cinematic mode before. It's the newest feature in the iPhone 13. I think it's the Pro and Pro Max. I don't know if the other iPhone 13s have cinematic mode, but basically cinematic mode is kind of like Hollywood-ish. It allows you to focus on one subject and blur everything out. And then you can switch to another subject and blur everything out. I'll show a sample here in the B-roll, something that I did when I was at Vid Summit last year with Travis and Jeff. Legit, test out cinematic mode. It's a good time. Also, if we switch over to slow motion, you know what slow motion is. You shoot a clip, and instead of going whoop, it looks something like woo. Kind of like those Bionic Woman and Bionic Man clips back in the 70s and 80s. It's good stuff. Also up here, slow motion, you can do 240 frames per second or 120. Whatever one you pick, it just looks more slow, more buttery smooth when you're doing it. So keep that in mind. The last thing is time lapse. You ever seen a video clip that starts in the daytime and then it gradually goes to dusk and then it goes to night, and all of this happens in a span of maybe a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Well, that is what we call a time lapse. Basically, it allows you to set the camera down, record for a set amount of time, and then once the recording is done, the time lapse takes that clip and pretty much speeds it up. Almost puts it through like a fast forward machine or something like that. So again, you can go from day to night in a matter of seconds, minutes, or whatever, depending on how you set up your time lapse. But that is basically what time lapse means. I'll throw up an example so you can see how it looks in real time. It basically sets a cinematic scene for their videos and helps tell a story. So that is what is going on there. And if you click on the arrow here, I think this is the exposure, so you could add more light or decrease the light, different things like that. But that is time lapse. So those are all the camera features of the iPhone 13 series of phones. Test them out, play with them to your heart content. Become the Hollywood filming bohemoth that you're meant to be. If you want to learn what apps I use on my iPhone 13 Pro, bam, I just did a video on that. Check it out. This your boy Viper, the man about tech. You know where to find me. So come back for more.